Shalom Akim, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to you brothers out there pushing this truth. Okay, in season and out of season, non-stop, on fire for this truth, on fire for Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Okay, Shalom to the house of David, the hopeful elect. So I want to do this quick lesson about I have a couple of scriptures, and these scriptures came to mind dealing with, I deal with a lot of different heathen nations. I'm around a lot of different nations, around a lot of different heathen nations. Okay, around a lot of people with money, multi-millionaires, billionaires, people that are affluent in this society. And one thing that can happen, you being around all these things, okay, you can be enticed, but really you try to seek acceptance from these heathen. All right, and you have to come to the realization this is not your world. All right, you're not looked at as a great intellect in society. You're not looked at as somebody that people need to cleave unto, okay, for knowledge or for counsel, which all these things do happen to the men of the Lord. The people that are in, high offices, people with money, they do seek us out for answers, ask us for advice. But on the whole, you're not looked at as the so-called white man. When the so-called white man, when he opens up his mouth, all right, people respect, people stop. All right, people stop to hear what he has to say. Okay, and what our people do, all right, they try to seek love, all right, and seek acceptance from these other nations. And you have to understand these other nations are below us. Okay, these Moabites, these Japhites, all right, these Hamites, all right, these Ammonites, all these nations that are held in high regard here in Babylon. Well, the curse was that the stranger that was among us will get very high above us, okay? Because we were once over these nations. All right, and that's kind of the backdrop of this lesson. Coming back to the realization that we are better than these nations, even though they're in these nice cars, they're in a better situation, so to speak, financially. All right. Well, you got to understand that these people they're riddled with diseases. They have anxiety. They have depression. A lot of these people that you see with money, they're depressed. In order for them to get that money and to keep that money and attain this money, they have to work all these long, toiling hours, 14 to 16-hour days. All right, yeah, they drive a Tesla. Okay, they're having marriageable problems. All right, they're having health problems. So you can't look at things in a physical realm. You have to look at things spiritually. And that's one thing that the Heavenly Father has given His men is spiritual enlightenment, prudence, okay, foresight. Because you can be amongst all these people and you try to seek acceptance. You want to be buddy with these people. These people are wicked, man. They had to use wickedness to get to that position. This is Deuteronomy 7:6. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." So we are unto the Most High. Okay, he chose us to be that special people. He chose us to be that people nigh unto Him, above all the people that are upon the planet Earth. So really, it should be the other way around. It should be these heathen should be trying to cleave unto us, asking us for favors. But it's not like that because the world is upside down as we speak. We're on the bottom, and then all the other nations, including the head nation, Edom, the head wicked nation on the planet Earth, he's on the top. So of course, the head nation that's on the top, people are going to look at him in high regard. They're going to look at him like he has all the answers. He is the image of science. He is the image of truth. He is the image of beauty. He's the image of reason. When these are all these things are contrary, He's actually the image of wickedness. He's the image of perverseness. Okay, he embodies all things. He embodies all things contrary to the Heavenly Father and His program. So all these people are on His vibration. On there's vibration of working long hours, being a slave, all right, being materialistic, thinking that buying things or a certain condo in a certain area in the city is going to give you more recognition. All right, people are going to look at you in a higher regard. You're going to receive more respect. At the same time, you're killing yourself just to achieve all those things. And our people, they get caught up. They get caught up in the illusion. All right, they get caught up in the illusion of fame and glory and wealth. When all those things here in Babylon, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, all these things will consume you and destroy you. Okay. The Lord did not set His love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people. So it wasn't because we were a great multitude, okay, and we had all we were the greatest multitude as far as numbers on the planet Earth. No, we were the last nation to be formed, so to speak, if you want to look at the nations. But because the Lord loved you, so the Lord actually loves us, even though we are in this low state, okay. Even though we are the last hired, the first fired, even though we are a negative stigma, okay, in the planet Earth, you got Chinese and Japanese, all right, and Arabs and Africans. When they walk past the Israelite, they're in their head they're saying, "Damn, look at these people. They're animals." They're saying all type of inflammatory, derogatory terms in their head. All right, when they get around their people, when they get even when they're around these other nations, when there's no so-called black or Hispanic, especially you so-called blacks here. Okay, you Negroes. When there's no Negro in the building, all type of derogatory profanity comes out about you blacks. Okay, how you're lazy. All right, how you're ugly. Look at your skin. Or all you're good for is dancing. Okay, they'll talk about you, but then they'll spend $1,000 on to go see Steph Curry. Okay. So you see the capacity of how these nations look at you. They look at you as entertainment. As long as you're in the position of entertainment, they're okay with you. But if you hold any type of power, they have an issue. So it says, but because the Lord loves you, so the Lord loves us, and He hates all you other nations, or especially you Edomites. You Edomites that are in these nice neighborhoods. Okay, you're well off. You have wealth. People listen to what you have to say. You're CEOs and CFOs. You're founders of different Fortune 500 companies. All right, you make certain deals and they come to pass. The whole time you're scamming people. You're underbidding. Okay, you're what do they call it in stock market? Where you're trading. You trading because you have trade secrets. Okay. It says, and because He would keep the oath which He has sworn unto your fathers, has the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And this story right now of us being a house of bondmen, all right, and us being under the control of the modern day Pharaoh, which when you go into Revelation 11. Tells you Revelation 11:8 that this Babylon is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So the same mannerisms of Egypt is the same mannerisms of America. Okay, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, in which the children of Israel, all the children of Israel, were held in captivity. Okay, here in Babylon. Let me bring out another scripture, because all other captivities. We weren't all together, okay? We were split up as a nation. But here in Babylon, we are oppressed together, and this is what the scripture is going to say. This is Jeremiah 50:33. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. The children of Israel is the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah is the southern kingdom, which comprise of all 12 tribes. And all that took them captives held them fast. When you fasten something, as you fasten a picture to the wall, you nail it in, so what? It can stay. When you fasten your seatbelt, when you get in a car, you fasten the seatbelt so your body doesn't move around. All right, so the same way, they through their wicked laws, through their oppression, all right, through their displacement, through their massive migration, forced migration to the Americas, all right, the so-called white man, he has kept us here. All right, we're not able to move around. We're not able to go so-called back to the land of Africa, which that's not our land, and set up economies. Okay, they refused to let them go. So just as in Egypt, the Pharaoh refused to let the children of Israel go because the children of Israel were a viable part of Pharaoh's economy, of the Egyptian economy. All right, there has to be masters and lords, and there has to be servants and bondmen and bondwomen. This is how society is ran. You have the haves and the have-nots, and we through the most part of our existence here on the planet Earth, we have been the have-nots. And how much more evident is it than here in Babylon the Great, here in America? The so-called financial gap, the wage gap, is astronomical. And it only keeps getting bigger and bigger, larger and larger, wider and wider. As the rich, the so-called white man and the elites, they get richer. You Israelites, you get poorer and poorer. And he sets up laws. He sets up these different. He does what they call aggressive lending. Okay, there's another word. There's another word. The way that he lends to you Israelites to keep you in a perpetual state of slavery, debt slave. And it talks about that, how the borrower is subject to the lender. Okay, let's bring that out real quick. I'm spelling that right. Salakia. And this is how the so-called white man. Yeah, this is it. And this is how the so-called white man continues to keep you Israelites down. He doesn't do it by putting a chain on your neck anymore, okay? No, that's not how it goes. He doesn't do it by beating you with a whip. No. He facilitates witchcraft in a form of his Federal Reserve notes, in a form of playing on your emotions, or keeping you poor by keeping you locked into the system. And how he keeps you locked into the system, it's a steady onflow of you being poor and him getting richer and richer. All right. This is Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor. So who is the rich? Who owns all the land? Do you Negroes own land? All right. Oh, you own a house. Well, is that house paid off? Do you actually own that land, or do you own the estate? Because if you own the land, that means you don't have to pay taxes. All right. Well, you don't own that land. All right. In reality, you don't own anything. You don't even own your own body. All right, because Esau has to account for everybody here in America. All right, that's why he's such up in arms about this immigration. Okay, so-called illegals coming over, is because he's not able to tax them. He's not able to keep track of them. And Esau, he wants to keep track of everything. So you Israelites here in Babylon, you have a social security card, you have an ID, and soon to be, you're going to have a chip. This is what he's going to present to the whole planet Earth. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So that's the word. It was a servant. You are a peanut slave, okay? Which means you're a debt slave. You're a slave to the international bankers. You're a slave to the American government. Are such as all these people here in Babylon. It's just some have more amenities than others, and these other heathen nations. They can do better than you. They can do. They're more well off, so to speak, because when they open up a business, there's programs set up for them. All right, they're not going to have the loan officer on the other side that doesn't like niggas that's going to deny the loan. Okay, They're not gonna up the so-called interest rates on you because of the color of your skin or your demographic. Okay, these other nations, they don't have to go through those things. They have programs set up, and furthermore, their nation is not totally destroyed. All right, they don't have the curses that are placed upon them. So when they concoct a plan, okay, a lot of times that plan goes through, which they do all type of underhanded things to start these businesses. All right, and Jake as a whole, yeah, Jake is wicked, but Jake as a whole, especially when they're trying to assimilate into society, they play by the rules, so to speak, and that's not going to get you anywhere. Just as they say, nice guys finish last. All right, and Jake, you're the nice guy, so to speak, and these other heathen nations, they can do all type of wicked things. Like I was listening to some news earlier, and down in San Jose, okay, which is south of San Francisco. All right, down in San Jose, where there's a lot of money out there. You have a lot of the Vietnamese. They have underground gambling rings. All right, and Esau busted them, arrested so many different people. All right, and came and seized about $350,000 in cash. All right, and then I seen it was a poster of people that were caught, and they were all so-called Asians, but it was very subtle the way they did it in the news bit. They didn't put these people's faces out there like that, like they do Jake. You would even know what type of people they are. Now I know something about that, the underground gambling, because I actually seen a bust before, and these storefront businesses that these different nations have. A lot of times they're in the back doing something illegal, the way they make their money. All right, but if it was an Israelite that did that, oh, he'll be all on the news. First of all, you'll get snitched out. All right, so these nations, they do underhanded things, they do wicked things, and they prosper. The wicked prosper in the world. All right, and you Israelites, what happens with you? You get enticed with those things. Okay, this is Proverbs 12:26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, and the Israelites, you are the righteous, and the neighbor is the other nations. But the way of the wicked seduceth them. So that's why you seek love from these other nations. You seek acceptance. All right, when these other nations, they don't want to accept you into their society. Like say a Jake, you want to marry a Chinese woman. Well, a lot of times, what would that Jake do? You'll cast off your family, you'll learn Mandarin, and you'll go to China. All right, and you'll be an outstanding citizen. All right, and you'll let the Chinese and you'll experience racism, and you just let it fly by you, man. All right, you let it fly. You let it just go right by you. Oh yeah, they're a little racist, but I don't want to say all the Chinese are racist. They hate your guts. Okay, you gotta understand, these other nations, they hate your guts. We are mortal enemies, and the only people that don't know that is you Israelites. They don't know that you have an enemy. All right, your main enemy being the so-called white man, the Edomites. Right along with all the other heathen nations, the Ammonites, the Moabites. Those two, the Ammonites and the Moabites, those are like right next to Esau as far as your enemies are concerned. All right, they set up these businesses in your neighborhood. They feed you poison, and then they go back into their nice neighborhoods. All right, then they talk about you. All right, so we're not ignorant of how you other nations feel about us. That's why when we go out on the highways and hedges, and we tell you how you feel about us, you get butthurt. Well, damn, how did they know? Okay, because the Spirit revealed it unto us, and we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay, so the Lord, He created us to be a special people unto Himself. He loves us. He doesn't love any other nation. Are you other nations? You're as a drop of a bucket. All right, you're as dust on a scale, like the scriptures talk about. All right, the Most High, He doesn't hold you in regard. He looks at you like animals, because that's what you are. You're animals. You eat all type of abominable foods. Okay. You worship all type of idols. And what happened? It says the righteous are more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So our people have been seduced by the ways of the heathen. But the thing about it is when we act like the heathen, we get judged according to the way that we act. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 30, and I'll start at 11. Jeremiah 30 and 11. No, I'll start at 10. Jeremiah 30 and 10. Fear not, O my servant Jacob, said the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. And we are afraid on all sides right now. We're in a foreign land, okay, with under captivity, okay, with our slave master, and different taskmasters all around us, okay. But the Lord's going to save us and bring us back into our own land, and nobody's going to make us afraid because the Lord's going to set us up on high, okay. For I am with thee, said the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of all the nations whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But I will correct thee in measure, and I will not leave thee altogether unpunished. For thus said the Lord, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. Look at the state of Israel right now. All right, the majority of Israel doesn't even know that they're Israel. Okay, the majority of Israel don't know who they are. They don't know their nationality. They don't know their God. They don't know the name of their God. They don't even consider these things, like it says in Isaiah the 1st chapter. Okay, and then when you present the truth to them, they reject the truth. So you have Israel that don't know that they're Israelites. Then you have Israelites that are not on the same accord. Okay, everybody believes in different things. Okay, nobody knows history. Nobody knows where they came from. All right, so this state that Jake's in is incurable. This wound is grievous. This is a wound unto death. Okay, if we didn't have the physician Yahweh Shai to come and clean us up, all right, and clean that wound up, all right, we'll be done. These nations will have us, man. We'll be done, all right, because we hold no power in global economy, global society. We don't hold any say so in the UN or in any say so in these different councils. We're not in Helsinki with Trump, okay, and Putin saying how the world should what state should the world go in? No. Where are you at? You're in the hood. Okay, you're in the hood. You driving Uber. Okay, you eating chicken. That's what you're doing. Okay, playing hip hop or reggaeton. Okay, you don't hold no power in the global economy. All right, so this is a grievous and incurable wound. There is none to plead thy cause. So nobody's coming and saying, okay, look, Israel, are you okay? Is everything okay? Nobody's coming and say, look, the Israelites are all messed up. Let's set a program. Let's get them back in their land. Let's get them back to their God. Nobody's saying that. That thou mayest be bound up. Okay, bound because we have a incurable disease. Thou has no healing medicine, so we have no medicine. Okay, it was seen that we have no medicine, but the medicine is here, man. All right. You know what? It says, because the scriptures say a good word is like medicine. Things in Psalms or Proverbs. Let me bring that up real quick. Yep. It's Proverbs 17 and 22. A merry heart does good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. And that's why Jake is all messed up and dried up. Okay, Ezekiel 37, because Jake is all dried up because why? America has broken their spirit. They have said, forget it. I'm just going to assimilate into America. I'm just going to be an American. I'm going to be the best American I can be. But those good words is like medicine. And what are the good words? The good words are these scriptures, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. So you here it is. You wanted to be You wanted to be equal with these nations or just be accepted by these nations. But they forgot you, man. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. All right, so now Jake is all messed up. The nations, they're like, oh shit, I'm out of here. I ain't trying to be I ain't trying to get caught up like that. I ain't trying to be all messed up like that. With the chastisement of a cruel one. For the multitude of thy iniquities, because thy sins were increased. And these other nations, they couldn't sin because they weren't given the Bible. They weren't given the scriptures. We were given the scriptures. Our God is an actual living power. Their God, they worship devils. They worship spirits. They worship the Most High, but on the left-hand side. Okay? Through their vain imagination, these different idols, these different gods. And these different gods, they bless them. But if we do what our God tells us to do, they bless our God blesses us, Yahweh. But if we don't do what our God tells us to do, okay, what happens? We get jacked up. So these nations, they're on point when it comes to worshiping their God. They make sure they worship their God. Okay? For the multitude of thine iniquities, because thy sin were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? So now you all messed up. Now you crying. You sobbing. You feeling sorry for yourself. Well, you were already told what to do and what not to do. Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thy iniquity. Because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. The scriptures talk about Isaiah 47, how the Lord said he has polluted his inheritance. Okay, he is the one, Yahweh is the one who did all this, who jacked you up. Yahweh is the one that has you all on drugs, strung out. Now you want the acceptance of the heathen nation, these retards. Okay, these other nations are retards, man. They don't know what the hell is going on. All right, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. So yeah, the Lord, he gave us up to these cruel nations. He gave us up to allow these nations to take advantage of us and to devour us. Okay, but on the other side, that's what the scripture says. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So the Lord is the one, Yahweh is the one who's going to give all these nations up for a prey. All right, and we're going to destroy them. We're going to put them in captivity, just as they had us in captivity, just as we were a proverb and a byword and astonishment, okay, unto them. They're going to be the same. They're going to be in a perpetual state of poverty. All right, we're going to be the head. We're going to oppress them. Okay, we're going to lend unto them. Okay, with usury, 5 to 6,000% interest. Okay, they're going to have to work. They're going to have to work until they die, man. They're going to have to work until they die. They ain't going to have no rest. Okay, so we're not supposed to assimilate into Esau's economy. Okay, we're supposed to tap into the matrix, use this world, but not abusing it. All right, we're not supposed to seek love from these other nations, seek acceptance, and that's Jake. Jake doesn't even want to be equal, man. Jake just wants to be accepted. Because here it is, you've been in Babylon, you've been told that you're not a child of God. You've been told that you're black, you're African American, so you don't know, you're all messed up in the head. Psychologically, you Israelites are done. Okay, so if it wasn't for Yahweh Shai coming back to save his remnant, all right, we'll be done as a people. All right, and we acknowledge that. And we see that. These nations will just have their way with us. Okay? So we are above these nations. We are over these nations. Let me bring out this last scripture. I think I had it. No. Yep. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 8. It says, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, and when the Lord, he separated the lands. When he separated the sons of Adam, because we all came from Adam. But there was a chosen line out of Adam. When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So it was all about the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So the Lord is only dealing with the children of Israel. And it would seem that he's not, but he is. He's dealing with his elect men. And at the same time, we're still getting chastised. That's what you have to understand. We're still getting chastised because this is not our world. Our world to come, we're not going to get chastised, but we're going to be able to chastise these other nations. So, with that, I just want to wrap the lesson up. Hope you brothers were edified. Until next time, I want to say shalom.